So hello guys, I got a request today. Somebody wanted to have character and characterization for Strange Happenings. It's a while before we talked about this book, so I'll be doing it. And I think earlier on I had done something, but I did not actually be conclusive in whatever I did. So let's go. So let me remind you about the characters in this story. We have Mwavasi, we have Hamisi, and we have the lady, of course, Chow. Then we have the teacher, you remember? Yeah, so Mrs. Kanene, and we have Mr. Gogo. So we are going to quickly run through the characters and characterization in Strange Happenings. It's a very interesting book. I don't know why many teachers are not actually handling it, but it's one of the best that I can actually recommend for your students. If you have not subscribed to this channel, consider subscribing. What are you waiting for? You better also place on the notification bell so that in case you want to actually receive my videos, varied from reactions to entertainment to educational, you are free to actually access them. We have also content for grade 9 and grade 8, and we are going to grade 10 very soon. So let's begin with Mwavasi, who is the narrator. The first character trait of Mwavasi is that he is very critical. Yeah, so when you check on page 4, you would actually see him wondering why the signboard is so firm and can be blown away by wind. You know, just the first day he reports at this new school. Then when you check on page 15, he almost shakes his head and thinks that Chao is shooting out of her seat to help the teacher with the many books because she's attracting his attention, you know. Yeah, not just because she's caring, but she's actually attracting the attention of the teacher. When we check on page 20, we see that he wonders why the teacher would not let them register, one phase, or make friends with other people when they're going to the pool. Why do they insist that you sit with their desk mat? Yeah, and she, of course, he is forced to sit with the sister he really hates, Chow. Checking on later in the text, you'll see how he's very critical about how Miss Kanene and Chow are sheepish and full of guilt about actually the accident that happened at the lakeside. Now, he is also very vulnerable. Vulnerable people are those exposing themselves to danger. Yeah, so when we look at the text, actually, we see that he easily trusts Hamisi, a person he does not know, and that is while at the beach. And actually, we see he almost drowned with the sister. And at some point, he's the one who caused the whole chaotic situation at the beach. Because, of course, Hamisi was almost stealing from him. That is about page 30 to 34. We see him almost losing his expensive watch. Now, check on page 33. What will you see? We will see that he smells the dull, pungent smell when they are just sitting and talking before Hamisi convinces him to go to a place unknown, and he exactly follows him. Now, you can actually check later to see other situation, but I think he's also vulnerable because when you check the reason why he left the previous school, he had hit a boy, in a game with the intention to make him trip and fall, but instead he's the one who injured himself and had to go through a serious surgery. Yeah, so we see that one is a vulnerable situation. And later on, he's still trusting Hamisi, and on the day he convinces him to go with him to his house and so that he can receive the truth, he does so. And later on he comes and makes Chow follow him in trapping the thieves of the signboard. He is very sensitive, by the way, selfish and emotional. And I'm giving these three together because they have very little illustrations. So when you check at page 74, of course, you will see that after reading the letter from the mother, what does he do? He decides to cry because he's very sensitive to what actually the mother has written, and at the same time emotional and feeling selfish that he shouldn't be treated as he is being treated. Then Mobasi is interested to read, yeah, the letter from the mother, even though we see that Chao and even the teacher try so much to make him not to. Yeah, so when you check at page 71, then you see that once he reads, he sits under the neem tree and is disappointed about the sister because he thinks that the attention she's been giving of late is plastic or artificial. Yeah, you check page 2, you will see that he envies the Colobus monkeys for jumping. You know, at that time he has the crutches and he doesn't actually like the situation whereby he can't move easily, you know. Page 67, he's very annoyed that the sister is treating him like a child, you know. And when you read at that part, actually, you realize he's being very immature. He is contemptuous. Contemptuous is having that a lot of hatred about someone, and we see that on page 16. He does not like Chao at all because he thinks this is not the kind of person that he would enjoy being with, yeah? That she would be the last person he would choose for a friend, yeah. Then when you check page 17, he says he's looking into the future and he could see it clearly. She would be one of those people, yeah, that are annoying and bossy, yeah. So that conclusion is actually a contemptuous one out of hatred. When you check on page 22 up to 23, you realize that he really dislikes Chao. He really dislikes Chao in a way that he even, the way she packs her books and all that. He does not like anything about what she does, even though some of the things she does are attractive, actually. Now, when we check on page 28, you will see that Chao explains about the Oman Arabs and the structure at the beach. But because of the hatred he has, he does not even like what she says. Because, he just thinks that Chao is being unnatural. And where, again, did she actually get such a knowledge? And even when he has been already saved from drowning, he still has some hatred towards the sister. Yeah, he is very keen. We see him observing a lot of things. Yeah, page 22, he notices that unlike Nairobi and Meru, Diani B place has few tuk-tuks, and we have boda-bodas who have parked around, and we have a shopping mall and a row of seedling, yeah. Then on page 5, he quickly notices that we have a troop of grey colobus monkeys around the school, and they are marching confidently around. He also notices on page 2 that Miss Kanene is a bit restless and panicky. You know, when she's making a call, and he's just a new student, but imagine he's able to notice all that. On page 33, he also detects a dull, pungent smell from Hamisi. Coming to page 5, we see that he detects, or rather realizes that there is a story building that houses rows of students, or rather classrooms, to the side of the administration. Yeah, and he's new in the school. Page 65, he quickly realizes the mother's handwriting in the paper that Chao is trying to hide so much. Yeah. When you look at page 6 again, you will see that when he's being escorted to the dormitory, he looks at the shirt which the man escorting him is wearing, and he sees the writings Hamisi, right, on the left pocket. Something which is not easy to do. I don't know how many of you are able to do such a thing as discovering writings or labels on somebody's clothes. Page 27, we see that the narrator does not like Chao because of the confidence that she has, and the fact that she denies that Hamisi has never been in the school at Pweza Academy. Page 28 to 29 shows us how he actually observes the part of the beach. Chao taking a lead, other students following, and children flying with kites, and hawkers touting their waters aggressively and all that. He is very wishful, full of wishes. Like he wishes his leg would heal completely, that he would not repeat the grade, that he would go back to the previous school in Meru. Yeah, that is on page 8, all right? Now, he's very dismissive. We see him dismissing a lot about Chao. Yeah, He does not even want them to look like they are siblings. Then he also dismisses the sister even when she's genuine about caring for him. Yeah, she asks him about a piece of paper and he just ignores. Yeah, he says he's not aware of it. That is on page 14 to 15. Check on page 29. You'll also see that when Chao urges him to take the water therapy once they have arrived at that is the lake, he just disregards it. Now let's look at Chao. What kind of person is Chao? Chao is very outspoken and outgoing. We can check that on page 14, for example. She quickly asks the brother, whether they should tell the class teacher or the class about them being siblings. That even if they delay, people will know with time. On page 17, we are told by the narrator that the sister was unstoppable and she had the teacher's blessings in being the outspoken girl. We also see that and helps the teacher to, relieve himself of the many books he was carrying. Yeah. Page 20, we see that after Miss Kanene has given orders, she reminds everyone to consider their bottle of water in class before they go to the swimming pool. She is very visionary, she thinks about her future. She believes that once she finishes school, she will become a leader, and therefore she must prepare, and she might get scholarship at some point. She's very loving and caring. She comes to the brother who is just sitting alone and urges him to get hot water, for therapy. Then on page 41 to 42, we see that when she notices that the brother is astray, she runs to him and rescues him from the Hamisi who wants to steal from him. When you look at page 50, you also see how she's checking on the brother at the display. More can be seen at the point whereby the brother to hold her dress so that as they are walking in water, no one is lost or rather drowns. She's very jovial, unlike the brother, and admirable. We see that many of the characters in the text, of course, admire her. And we see that after she exchanges with the brother, she still goes back to the brother, and the reaction is friendly. She even greets him like nothing happened before. Check that on page 61. Again, the same page, we see that the brother admires her behavior regardless. Then page 19, we are told that she was so excited to be told to go to the pool. Yeah, so you see that jovial aspect I'm talking about. Yeah, she even leads the class and tells them to mind their bottles. And when they reach the water part, she's the first to step in. Page 45, we see that even though the storms are heavy, she falls, but she resists and she keeps saving the brother. Now at the dispensary, just when the brother is waking up from the one day when he was very seriously, injured, we see that she's so excited talking to the brother and reminding him that the therapy worked. Yeah, she's very forgiving. She forgives the brother regardless of the exchange they had earlier. So when you check on page 61, she's the one greeting. The brother is not willing to let it go. Now look at Hamisi. Hamisi as a character is very mysterious. When do we say somebody is mysterious? Somebody can be mysterious when you cannot understand their way out. So when you look at the character that is Hamisi, page 33, we are told that he laughed very thunderously and rapturously in a wildest way that even the narrator would not understand who exactly he is. On page 25, we are told that he meets with this boy, Mwabasi, at school, and in fact escorts him to class. But later on, it is discovered that he doesn't work in school, and even when he comes at the ocean, we don't understand why he was there, why he wanted to steal the watch. So it is a mysterious appearance, of course, that we have here. Then later on, he appears again in school when this boy has just read the letter and is thinking about sharing with the teacher about the situation surrounding Hamisi. He appears and takes him to his house, and that is where he reveals his past. And we do not know whether that was true or not, because later on Again, he convinces Chao and Mavasi to go wait on the thieves, and they see the monkeys removing the label that is, and later on, of course, we see them being arrested, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's very persuasive. Of course, he makes it to request Mavasi to do a lot of things that nobody could actually make him do. We see Miss Kanene as being very caring, because he was quite friendly to Mavasi. Yeah. So when you check on page 39 up to 40, you'll see evidence. So Miss Kanene is a lady, of course, and she was very caring. Yeah. Caring to all the students, and we can see in a situation whereby, when they go to the session, she tells the students to be the brother's keepers. Yeah, you remember that? That's page 27. She's very secretive. She insists that Chao and Mavasi should not share information about the incident to anyone. Remember, all the kids had been placed in the bus before she went back and realized that 2 students were missing. And so she's the only one aware of what had happened, and she never reveals it. And she keeps even telling the students not to mention to anybody. She's very keen and observant, because she notices that Mavasi is disgusted about something when she has given an order that they rush and change, then get to the vehicle. That is when she asks whatever problem he has. That is page 20. Look at page 71. You'll notice that she realizes very quickly that Chao and Mavasi are siblings. Yeah. She's very fearful. Of course, you realize that she's so afraid that Chao and Mavasi might share the incident that happened, and it might be a problem for her. When we check on page 69, we see that when she sees Mavasi approaching Mr. Gogo, she's very scared, because she believes that Mavasi is going to spill the beans, and calls and got the situation. We have Mr. Gogo, who is the final character, and of course, Mr. Gogo is very insensitive. Why do I say so? He fails to listen at Chao and Mavasi when he actually finds them near the signboard and it has been removed. In fact, they are locked in a room before the next day they are supposed to be sent home, and actually they had been threatened by this teacher. He also locks the 2 in the room, yeah, as I've told you, and threatens to call security on them, instead of just listening and hearing what they'll say. However, he's appreciative. Why? He thanks Chao for helping him relieve the books in his hand and clean the board. He also asks all the learners to clap for Chao once he has been picked as the secretary of the class. So those are the character and characterization in Strange Happenings. And indeed, these are strange happenings. I don't know how many of you have interacted with this book if you are in the JS section, or you are in grade 8 or 9, grade 7. You should read as that, and actually it will help you build your vocabulary, know the skills of writing stories, and get more about literature. So have a nice time. Bye-bye for now. Let's meet again in another discussion tomorrow on The Last Laugh. Bye-bye.